Hi, my name is Katie Hauser. I went to Jameswood High School, graduated at the University of Georgia with an art history and studio art degree. Right in front of me is my painting called Cortona, and last year I studied abroad for about 3 months, and this was my initial reaction to the beautiful southern Tuscany. And this town right here is called Cortona, and it's a very small town out of Florence. Instead of focusing on one section at a time, I think about like the whole thing. Like what colors need to balance the whole picture.
Okay.
So very broad, and then near the end it's like, okay, now I'm gonna go through details, now I'm gonna add. But the most important part is that like there needs to be harmony in the colors. So like if there's red here but there's no red anywhere else, even like red within the green or whatever, it won't be cohesive. So this painting, I was really intentional about like, okay, so I'm painting with this color like sienna here. Okay, like there needs to be some sienna in the background so that the front and the back match, like they're of the same language.
So within this painting, you're really focusing on the harmony of colors. You didn't want just one color in one corner of it and not be anywhere else.
Exactly, and color for me was way more important than lines and form. So yeah, color was everything. Like when I saw Cortona for the first time, it was surreal. Like this place is fake.
Okay.
It's so beautiful that it's fake.
So was it color oriented?
Yes.
Is that why you embedded all those colors?
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that.
So when I arrived at Cortona, it was near sunset. Okay. So the sky was just like this beautiful pink, but then there was all these greens and stuff that really did pop out to me. Blue Ridge Mountains are like super beautiful, but they look very different than the mountains in Italy.
Okay.
So that was also a surprise to me.
Cool. So what is kind of like this, it almost looked like you like splashed something here and then it was coming down. Tell us a little bit about that.
So,
which I think is super interesting.
yeah, I think I need to rewind a little bit actually about my style, because when I was younger, I wanted to be able to reach full realism, and I wanted it to look like real life, but a lot of my other works aren't like that at all. Like it's graffiti, it's throwing paint out there and just very abstract. So I was a little bit reluctant to do a landscape, but I felt like in Cortona I needed to because of how beautiful it was. But I wanted to do it my way, and I actually think that the splashes from me made the piece more fun.
Do you have, I guess a good question is, do you have a specific style, Katie, that you use through all of your paintings, or is it like for this you're going to use one, like it's one particular style that you like to work with another one? I mean, I've seen some of your other stuff.
Yeah, like I have a series. So like that's the thing for like when I do landscape like this.
Okay.
Right? But like I also have this like entire series of these like not floating heads, but you know what I'm saying, that are like hyper realistic. But I think for me, my art's more about the meaning behind each painting and less about the style I use. So for this painting, it was really important that there was some abstract elements, because for me, when I saw Cortona, it was such like an intense experience. So I thought in this particular instance, color was the best way for me to express what I was feeling.
Okay, cool. And then you want to bring that one in and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I guess I don't know if I'm explaining this right. So when I was in Italy, I was making art about Italy and what I was studying. So as an art history student, I wrote like a 25-page paper on Santa Margherita.
Oh, okay.
So I was really in that mindset of studying saints and studying Cortona. She's a patron saint of Cortona, Santa Margherita. So her life is like kind of a tragic one. She was originally from another town. She ended up becoming a mistress, but who knows of which circumstances she became this mistress. But anyway, her husband I don't know, of the swords, whatever, dies, and she had to leave, and her father wouldn't take her in anymore. So she comes to this town, Cortona, and begs them to let her in. And for the rest of her life, she atones for her many sins. And I wonder today too, because like as a Catholic, it really bothers me that we put her on this pedestal for beating and beating herself, starving herself. She was slashed 2 marks down her face because she was so beautiful, and they hated her beauty and they punished her for it. So, but eventually she becomes a saint, and they still celebrate her today. So, like in this kind of more modern sense, like grappling with what it means to be a feminist, it makes me confused, but also really intrigued. Like a lot of things about Santa Margarita really impresses me. Like she was an outstanding person, but then this one element that she's celebrated for really bothers me.
So there's an emotional connection to her, but that you have since you've been studying.
Well,
and stuff. Is that why?
And I think what I did was by putting myself in her shoes, I wondered, oh wow, what would it have been like to live in 15th century Tuscany, Cortona.
Okay.